Yeah.
All right, guys. So today, Neil and I are going to have a discussion about the impacts of social media. I guess on our generation and how it can, how prolific it's become, and how that can impact our lives, how we move, and how we operate,
hmm
and things of that nature. So, yeah, Neil, take it away.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it, social media, is almost like in the last few weeks, I damn near felt like there was an addictive pull to it that
Mm,
I didn't realize or I didn't give credit to existing before. But I seen how much I'm clinging to it, how much I'm going to this space to receive, whether it's like inspiration or ideas or entertainment, right? And just because it's like when you think about what the way the modern social media that we're dealing with right now, it's an endless stream of things.
mm-hmm,
Before, because we're not to age ourselves, but we were we were alive when it was like when Facebook and like MySpace, just not MySpace, but like Facebook was just becoming a thing. And at that point it felt really like a social platform. You know what I mean? It was to connect communities that already existed in real life. And now we're in a space where social media fosters communities online that don't exist in the real world, but you're able to connect with people online, which is like there's a massive benefit there.
mm,
But what spawns from that is a lot of different interconnecting ideas that didn't necessarily happen in the real world. And so you're exposed to that, overexposed to that, constantly, constantly, constantly. So I mean, for both of us, I know, we both have our ideals, our stuff that we're working towards. So
mm.
I'm curious for people listening. I'm curious for you how you feel like how how social media is everywhere. Like how is that impacting you in your journey, and um like, are you comfortable with how it's everywhere? You find yourself wanting to scale back? Like, what do you think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point. It's a good question too. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like me personally, I'm more of a low key type of guy. I'm not really um out there like that when it comes to having a desire to, you know, push, honestly, just to share on social media. Like the
hmm
way that I am, I have a small tribe. I keep my circle small, and the people who need to know breaking events in my life, they know. So I've never been someone who's really um like engaged on a really, really high level with social media. I did when I was younger, then I kind of stepped away from it. Um, but I feel like it's what I feel like. I think that regardless of how you feel about it, I think that you are doing yourself a disservice if you just completely disconnect from it. I don't even think that's debatable.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's a network, like whether or not you like how you feel about it doesn't really matter because there's a network there that needs to be tapped into.
Yeah, 100%. And that's I'm more thinking about from like, especially, I guess I should um be more specific, but especially from like from a business perspective, like if if you're someone who's trying to put yourself in the best position possible to be able to earn an income, or forget the income, or to be able to form connections, there's no easier space to do that than on social media and online. Not specifically to make income, but to make
hmm
connections, and to connect with people. So um I feel like it's one of those things where it's just like you have to you have to learn to use it. You have to learn to live with it. And the challenge there is, I think, using is learning to do that in a way that is beneficial to you, where you still feel balanced, because you can't there's it's like on the one end, I don't think that you can completely cut it out and act like it doesn't exist. That's not going to be beneficial to you, to most
Mhm.
people. On the other end, you can't just forget reality and just be on social media 24/7 and forget what's real. So I think
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that we're all struggling with, or a lot of us are struggling with, is just trying to find that balance where we can get the benefits from it, but also mitigate the drawbacks, because it's like a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah. The network thing and like, having to recognize that there's so much like potential that's like tapped or untapped on it.
Hmm.
My thing is like when I think about the actual function of the apps, like how they work, it's almost like you tell me because I can't find balance
Hmm.
in because what's the things all the good things that are tied or all the good things that are on social media are so closely tied to like all the
Yeah.
negatives. It's almost inescapable. It's
Nah.
like so I can't really I can't find that balance. Like I know you can like try to curate your algorithm,
Hmm.
but the algorithm they want you to stay on the app. So like the things that they show you, that you may not want to pop up on your feed, but you end up spending some time looking at it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just keep coming keep coming back. Um
Yeah.
so so yeah, like do you think you can find balance? Because me personally, like I feel like as sometimes because you're saying the network is there, like you need it, you need it, but somehow I'm like, damn, bro, I don't even know if I can. Like, I may have to just, have a set time
Hmm.
or just like have a space where like I put it in like a private folder or something like that. So like I have to go through steps to access it. Where I'm like, okay, do I really want to go
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
social media right now?
So yeah, I think two things. One, I don't think you need it. I don't think that you need to be on social media. I do think you're doing yourself a disservice by not being on it, but I know, like I know of business owners that do very well, and it doesn't even have to be business, but people who don't engage on social media and they live great lives and they connect
Mm,
with people. So I just want to get that out. I don't think that you need
yeah.
social media in today's day
Nah,
and age.
you would probably live like an incredible life if you didn't have any social media, right? Like because, and I guess part of the desire for the conversation is like, okay, why? Because I feel like both of us feel that way. Both of us feel like, yo, if we didn't have the requirement, like there's a lot of benefits that come with it for sure. But like if we didn't have the necessity or drive to like participate in that network, it would be a way higher quality. But like why? What specifically about being online is like detracting from, you know, our quality of life specifically.
Yeah, man. I think to go back to what you asked before about the balance, I think that is what I think can be detracted from that quality of life, is just, 'cause I feel exactly what you're saying, when you are trying your best to use this app in the way that's going to be most productive and only productive. It's very, very difficult to do that, because
Hmm.
there's still going to be things that end up catching your attention, and it's very difficult to be disciplined in that manner, in that manner. I think, okay, I think one a couple things you touched on. I think one, being able to shift from being a consumer to a producer on that app, and that being the primary way that you use it, that's the first way that I think can help you find balance at times. The second thing is, I feel like setting it setting it up in a way so that you have to be very intentional about using it. Like just keeping Instagram, for example, just the app open and always on your phone, that may not be the most effective thing for a lot of people. For
Mm.
a lot of people, it may be okay on Fridays or on whatever day. This is when I'm going to download the app, have it on my phone. I'll still allow myself to connect to answer DMs, to do whatever the case is. But I'm gonna do that 5 hours out of the week, as opposed to allowing Instagram to have access to me, or allow myself to be pulled in to Instagram 24/7. So I think what you said was key there, is like putting things in place where it's like you make it so that there's intentional friction that has to be felt to be able to engage on the app, as opposed to just pick up, because bro, that shit's it's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy the
Hmm.
amount of times that I've even found myself, and I'm not someone who thinks spends a crazy amount of time on Instagram, but the amount of times that I found myself, I'll literally pick up my phone, check Instagram, put it down, or I'll close it out, and I'm still just looking for something to do on my phone. I'll open it right after without even noticing. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, like that's what I'm that's what my mind is going, is like, I know we recognize that, okay, for both of us, like individually, if other people, are cool with the amount of time they spend on it, it is what it is. But I'm trying to think like what specifically, and maybe it's like it's the inability for us, or like we just have such easier access to like entertainment, endless entertainment. So it's like it's tough to deal with like the quote unquote boredom. Um,
You're
but
you're
like
trying to think.
yeah,
Go ahead, go ahead.
what if so we you said it would be a better quality of life if you either just didn't live on social media, or maybe there at a time when like social media was something that people went on like an hour a day or something. Didn't have an endless feed, because before, like like early days in Facebook, right? It's a community that's like curated in real life. So it's like it's not endless forms of entertainment. Let's say you have 50 friends on Facebook, like you can go through what everybody posted for the week, and then there's nothing else to see,
Hmm.
right? Like the way it's set up right now, there's infinite content, right? So it's like you can literally, you say like you close you open the app, close the app, open the app, close the app. I guarantee you saw a new thing every single time you did open the app.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're still getting that dopamine hit. You're still getting like the novelty that you're seeking. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm answering my own question. Maybe that is what it is. Um,
So your question is like,
I'm
why do you think we do this?
yeah, like why do you, why do we do it? Can we stop? Can we stop? Or should we have a desire to stop? Or like I guess because like I'm saying, the bad is so married with the good. I don't even know if it's possible, but I'm trying to get to like, okay, why? Because if I understand why you may use it, why I may use it, then I'm like, okay, maybe then it'll be a bit easier for me to maneuver going forward.
Yeah, yeah. No, all right. I see where you're going. I mean, honestly, for like, I'll just speak about like me personally. I think it's definitely been a net positive as opposed to a net negative. And I think I think everyone can curate a relationship with social media where, if it's not already, it can be used in a way that it's a net positive as opposed
Yeah,
to a net negative.
I'll
For
say my
me,
my my experience is a net positive as well, for sure.
yeah, so for me, like, why do I feel it's important to be on it? I mean, you know, my mission is to help better people's lives, and I primarily do that through coaching right now. The opportunity that there is to connect with people that I don't know, who don't know me, or people that do know me and are in my network, I'm not it's so much more efficient for me to be able to make a post on my Instagram, on my Facebook, or tweet something, whatever the case is, and have people be able to see and connect with that, as opposed to me just picking up my phone and calling numbers or knocking on doors. So I like,
Mm,
and it's just there's just the scale. Like, you realize, bro, some people out here have millions of followers. I mean, like, even if half those people the followers end up being on the app on a regular basis, the amount of reach that you can
mm,
have is through these platforms is crazy. Like,
mm,
that amount of reach back in the day, like before social media was at the forefront, it just wasn't possible for most people. Like a regular dude can just create an Instagram account and potentially get himself in a position where he can have reach with millions of people.
Yeah. That's the magic and the power of it. Like the actual power of it. That's like you can't if you're trying to do something where it requires you to be seen, like you can't avoid, you can't run away from it. And that, yeah, to be honest, like you're saying, it is. Yeah, it's in that situation or that reality that you can, if you provide enough value, you can curate an audience of 100 people, 100 people to 1,000 to 10,000. Like the scale of it is crazy when you actually like. Obviously, if you have 1 million followers, it doesn't necessarily mean that either 1 million people support you. People follow for a bunch of different reasons, right? But just the sheer volume, the amount of people that you're reaching is crazy when
Yeah,
you
bro.
actually think about it. Yeah.
And on that same note, when I started, because I just started like posting, business stuff, regularly on social media, and I felt some resistance before I started it, but because it's so easy to get into a space where you allow yourself to be validated by like likes, shares,
Mm, hmm
comments, but from posting stuff regularly, I'm not gonna lie, like the first few posts that I had, and I still do feel it now where I'm like, how many likes does this get? Like, people may not really
yeah.
be rocking with this, whatever. But so the more that I did it and the more that I do it, bro, now if I post something and it gets like 3 likes, bro, that's three real people who
Mm.
actually liked what I created. Like, why am I? That's how is that an L? You know what I mean? Like, look, if you actually think about it, like, sure, would I prefer to get 100 or 1,000? Yes, but like, I actually just am in a space now where like I genuinely feel like gratitude, and I'm just like, say word, 6 people like this.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Not
That's
that's the hell
crazy.
that's the healthiest that's the healthiest way to to approach it for sure.
Like,
Yeah, because
bro.
if you allow yourself, that's the thing with the likes, like like the external validation, right? Like if you like even myself, right? I'm making music, I post music, whatever the case is. I post um I like a video of the song or like the actual song, whatever the case.
Yeah,
And clinging to there's obviously a natural desire for people to listen to it and like it, right? But
yeah,
like clinging to the result of that response, it's 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 easy to do to foster. I say for example, for me in my case, like I haven't yet had a space where I put stuff out and like there was a negative reaction,
yeah,
right? Yeah, but most of the people are either in my circle or the people that are just outside are like, oh, discovering like, yo, this is hard. Few and far between. I'm not popping yet, but like it's
yeah,
happened where someone will reach out like, yo, I just discovered you and your stuff's fire. So like I'm not in a space yet where I'm in people's radar for them to hate, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So it's easy to like to get the positive response and internalize it like, yeah, I'm doing something, right? But I'm saying like the one time, bro, this is this is actually what happened. I felt it. There's one time I posted like a freestyle or something. I had like 10 comments like, yo, this is fire, fire. And then one comment was like, yo, this is straight ass. And yo, even though like even though
Woo!
even though I didn't really like I didn't believe it. Like if I was sitting in front of the room and sitting in the room with him and I played him and he said that to me, I'd be like, yo, you're bugging. But yo, when I saw the comment on thing, I was like, damn. I was like, yo, this is actually ass.
Bro. And
Like let me go back and listen to this. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, bro. No, I was just gonna say, and this is the thing. I don't know how or why it works like this. I guess it's because like what people say, like as humans, we're just maybe drawn to negativity more. But bro, if
Hmm.
you walked out and left your house, and 10 people told you, bro, that was fire, and there was one person that
Yeah,
was like that was garbage, you'd be like,
yeah.
okay,
It'll
like
be
it wouldn't
okay.
it wouldn't even
Yeah,
affect you. But it's like it gets so loud for some reason when you're on social media. But
yeah.
also I just have to say quick, like I really, bro, I do not, bro, I don't understand people who just like troll on it, like just troll on it. Like I know that I don't get it, bro. Like how how can you how can you be in a space where you're just out here throwing out negativity for nothing? Like, bro,
Yeah,
I genuinely feel like I actually feel sorry for you. The amount of people that you see sitting behind screens and they're out here just throwing out negativity, like where is your head at? Like I
yeah.
cannot even understand how those people think.
It's 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 a bunch of different things. I think with like on Twitter slash X now, there's like a misaligned incentive. There's you get I'm pretty sure they pay people for like views or like interactions. So
Mm,
like people on that app specifically are incentivized to like make posts or
stir up controversy.
engage. Exactly. Exactly. So like some of these people, like I guarantee they don't even believe. Like for example, like today I seen, and it's so funny when you see them like acknowledge and be like, yeah, like, I was just trolling. But
Mm,
I seen this girl post a tweet about how she's like, oh, somebody in her class spelled DNA like like biology, the DNA with instead of how you spell it, it's spelled D like the letter D, the letter N, the letter A. And she's like, someone in our class spelled it like D, the at and symbol A, but like DNA stands for something. Like the
yeah,
N has
yeah.
right, so she's like DNA, right? And then someone commented on the post, and he was like, "Well, the N stands for N, so he's actually factually correct, right?" And yo, that post went viral. Everybody commenting on it. He's trolling. Some girls like, I'm have a degree in so and so, and he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're wrong, right? And then I go on his page, and like the most recent tweet is yo, I'm trolling. Like it's just hilarious, but he's getting mad engagement with it, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people are engaging. So yeah, it's there's that's part of it. But then obviously, like some people are probably a little bit miserable, and like that's it's like let me dish out what I'm feeling inside. Like that's probably a part of it too. But
Hmm.
like, have you ever? Because yo, me personally, I've never in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. Never in my life have I ever left a negative comment on in social media. So
No,
like,
bro,
so
never.
not yeah. So once I peeped that, I'm like, bro, like, why am I even paying attention to this? Because like, what type of person is what type
That's
of
what I
person
don't.
does that?
That's what I don't understand. Like, it's not like we're talking about a service, bro. Like, if you
Hmm.
went to a restaurant, you had garbage service, and you want to leave a bad review, okay, cool, or whatever. But like, bro, this doesn't even like it doesn't even impact you. Like nine times out of ten, like this has no impact on you. Like
Yeah.
I really just I'll never understand it. And I'm sure we've all come across posts where we're like,
Hmm.
nah, this dude's tripping, or like I just don't like the content. But like,
Yeah.
why would I like why? I like there's just I don't
I
get
come
it.
across those. I come across those all the time. Come across those all the time, especially because like my Instagram algorithm, like all my ads are like artists.
Mm,
That's I guess that's how my setup. I end up spending most of my like if I do see an ad, I'll click it and like let me see what this guy's doing on his page. And so just by product, like there's a lot of artists that pop on my page that are like objectively terrible, you
mm,
know? And so like this is one dude, I don't even know his name, so I'm not gonna say the name. I'm not gonna but like this is one dude that's like he's clearly like an amateur, like trying to pursue this. But like when I look at it, I'm like, yo, honestly, like I can't even hate it. He's chasing it. He's putting this stuff out there. But yo, the comments are killing this guy, bro. The comments, like like the trash, the classic, like, yo, this is fire on mute. I'm like,
oh
yo,
man.
and then, bro, like, I seen a guy on. 'Cause I'm just scrolling through the comments, like, I see a guy give a full, like, damn near dissertation about how he's disrespecting the craft of music. I was like, he left like a full paragraph. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But back, yo, the original point I was trying to get to with that one comment, like having 10 positive comments and the one, I had to detach from the positive comments as well.
Mm,
Like, because if you allow the positive stuff to fuel you, you're just leaving space for the negative stuff to impact you as well, because you're searching. You know what I
I don't
mean?
know if I agree with that.
Why not?
I don't know if I agree because I feel like you can put yourself in a space where you accept compliments, gratitude, and engage with positivity, but you sidestep negativity. I don't
This
feel
this
like
this what I'm saying is like what I think. I don't yeah, because we're in disagreement there, because I feel like if you're feeling any type of way from like a positive comment, like some, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any positive feedback and like you shouldn't feel any type of way about it. But if at the root somebody says something and you feel good about that statement, you're allowing what they think about you to impact how you feel.
yeah, and I'm okay with that.
But I'm saying like, okay, maybe for me it's different, because I feel like when I open that valve up, when I open myself up to like to accepting the praise, the criticism stings. If I I move and I don't pay attention, like if somebody says, yo, I like this is fire, I'm like, cool. I don't. Then when if somebody says something like, yo, this is trash, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you're not impacting me. I did what I said I was gonna do, put something out because I liked it. That's my final opinion. Not to say I'm not gonna listen to what anybody says, but I'm not gonna allow myself to get gassed from the positive, and I'm not gonna allow myself to get like hurt from the negative comments, you know?
I agree, and I think two things can both exist. I think you can have the mentality where you do engage with positivity, sidestep negativity, but also don't allow the positive to gas you and don't allow the negative to tear you down. That's where I mean, I haven't really engaged, I haven't interacted with negativity yet. I'm sure I will, but I feel like I'm in a space now where it's like, do I enjoy seeing, because bro, this is the thing. I'm like, I feel like if someone is taking the time to give me my flowers and say, "Yo, I like your work," or "I appreciate you doing this." Like that's a person that's taking time out of their day to let me know that they actually rock with what I'm
Mm,
providing. So
yeah,
for me, it's like it would be disingenuous for me to just be like, "Thanks." Like no, if I saw you in real life, even if I don't know you, and you're like, "Hey, I saw you doing this work. I just want to tell you, like, keep it up." I'm gonna be really gracious of that. I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate it." Like, and same ways, if someone's commenting something negative,
mm,
I feel like you're entitled to your own opinion. Like as long as you don't get crazy disrespectful, we don't have an issue. Obviously, online, that's a different story. I'm not really going to entertain it. But I'm saying if the same thing happened and I'm walking down the street and someone says, "Hey, yo, I saw that you were doing this. I really don't like your content at all." Like, am I going to let that impact how I feel? Probably to an extent. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, like I appreciate the feedback. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
No,
and I'm
that's
a
it.
sidestep it and just keep rocking. But like for me to act like I'm not really appreciative and I don't appreciate the fact that this person took the time out of their day. Nah, like, so I'm almost willing to deal with those moments where, some negativity comes and I might feel that sting for a bit, but understand that, bro, if I'm getting count like even if I'm getting half as many positive comments as I am negative, which is a crazy alarming rate of negativity. But even if that
Yeah,
were the case,
yeah,
like the negative people, like you're not doing harm to them. So I'm still a net positive. I'm still helping so many more people in a positive way. So I just feel like if you focus on that, you take the criticism, you're like, all right, whatever it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. And there could be stuff to learn from the criticism too. They could
mm,
be like, bro, Neil, I don't like this track because the way that you spoke about this felt disrespectful to like if you just don't even take that feedback, like I also feel like you could be doing yourself a disservice,
yeah. No, that's a fair point. I guess I was thinking about it like to the extreme on both
Mm.
sides of like
Mm.
letting the comments like gas you to the point where you're like, yo, I'm
I'm
him.
him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, you
But
have
yeah,
to stay
like
somewhere in between, bro.
yeah, stay somewhere in between is like that's probably where I'm at too. Cause yeah, if somebody does take time to reach out, like for sure, I'm super grateful. I'm like, because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
You know, you did not
exactly.
have to, take time out of your day to like try to connect. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sending, even if they're few and far between now, like I'm super appreciative, and that's where my mind goes is like, oh, let me tap in and like have the conversation there. But I just remember to me it was just so funny when I thought about it. I'm like, yo, like I don't know why that one comment, and like I went on the guy's
Mm.
page and like there's nothing, there's nothing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like he's even a person. But like I don't know why it bothered me so much. I was like, yo, maybe the what I'm thinking right now is like an idea that I constructed to like protect myself from that feeling.
Mm.
But what you said was that was super powerful just now is you're willing to take whatever that like small negativity may be for the time or like however it may make you feel, you're willing to take that with the possibility or with the presence to move in line with like how appreciative you are
Mm-hmm.
of the people that are actually taking time out of their day to give you your flowers for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Um, yeah, I think how do you feel about how do you feel about like I guess balancing social media in the context of like everyday life? Because we had a conversation before this, and you were talking about how, the last week or so you've been intentionally disconnecting from it and allowing yourself to be more present and more mindful in certain areas in your life and the impact that you feel like that's had. um so I guess I'd like to know what did you experience with that one, and how would you like to continue to keep that implemented in your day-to-day activity?
Yeah, I think it really was just allowing myself to like engage in, I'll call it distraction because that's a way that I can frame it to like make myself disengage from it. But it's like, I mean, maybe entertainment. Like there was in the quote unquote distraction, there was definitely pieces of value that I found, because like I've curated my algorithm decently, so it's not pure garbage. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I take, a lot of interesting ideas that I can, access on like Twitter or X, and like, like I said, my Instagram, there's obviously some stuff I don't necessarily want to engage in, but there's like, a lot of artists that I can discover like get inspiration from. So it's still there, TikTok as well. But I think when I did like when I go through a phase like this last few weeks where I've like intentionally detached from it, maybe my like the use for me is a little bit different because the reason I did it was to like get back in tune with writing and being really in tune with what it is that I'm trying to say, which is like part of the reason why I intentionally did it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I felt like with social media, part of early in the conversation I'm talking about, okay, before it's like just a community, and then now we're getting connection from millions of different people. So we're seeing a lot of different ideas, right? When I'm scrolling through stuff, like whether or not I'm realizing it, I'm internalizing the ideas, right? Like I'm having internal conversations about, okay, how do I think about what this person is saying, even if it's something that catches my mind, right? If it's a conversation about, somebody's talking about like, the low hanging fruit. This is coming to my mind, but low hanging fruit of like who should pay on a date, man or woman, right? Even though it's not a conversation that I'm like even I have a desire to engage in. If I scroll a tweet and I see it, like I may think about it for a little bit, like, oh, who
Mm-hmm.
who should, or like how would I feel if, you know what I mean? And so like disconnecting from that just allowed me to just reconnect with, yo, hey, I'm making this music. I'm trying to say something. Like, what is it that I'm trying to say without the filter of going through the filter of like a bunch of other people's ideas that I don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I interject for 1 sec, Neil? Just before
Yeah.
you continue, I was just gonna say, just for the listeners, like I know you're talking about music, but you're also it's very relevant if you take it in the context of reconnecting with yourself, because that's really what
That's
you
what it
how
is.
you connect through
Yeah.
your music. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to to share that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's facts too. Because that's essentially what it is. Like I'm trying to I'm trying to say what's important to me, what I feel like needs to be said, but that only comes from actually being in tune with where I'm at, with who I am, with what's important, right?
Hmm.
And you can't, or I can't do that when I'm being pulled in a thousand different directions about what's, what the topics are, So
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. And I think um I don't know if you felt this too, but I know, like, for me, even on a micro level, I've spoken to a lot of my friends who also have experienced this. It's crazy to me how different your days can feel when you start them on social media as opposed to off. And I like
crazy,
it
crazy.
that alone, I feel like, speaks to the impact that just engaging with social media
Mm,
unconsciously can have on you. Like, the days that I'm out, the days that I'm conscious about getting myself centered, just spending time alone with myself, allowing myself to connect with my own thoughts, my mission, my vision, my purpose, those sort of things. I just feel way more grounded throughout the
but
day.
I'll tell you an experience that like I know because we had a conversation prior, and I was telling you like the last few weeks me sort of disconnecting.
Yeah.
And like the ideas and like them playing in the subconscious. But one of the things that happened that like made me be like, okay, you got to be very very mindful of what you're digesting. I don't remember the specifics of the dream. Sometimes you wake up, you dream, you forget. But I remember in my dream hearing like the sound of a commercial that I had seen when I was watching like a football game. And I'm like, and I woke up, I'm like, yo, I don't remember if you had asked me to recite the commercial to you, like what give me I don't even know what the commercial was, but like if
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
asked me
yeah.
to recite any commercial from the span of 2-3 hours I was watching that game, I wouldn't have been able to say anything. But my mind, my mind retained it because I woke up and I'm like, yo, that is crazy. The fact that I was sleeping, and in the background, in whatever in the dream, if I'm watching TV in a dream, or if like something's happening in the dream, in the background, you know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
my mind had access to a memory of something that I didn't even remember. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, like I gotta be very careful about what I'm digesting, and how I'm letting myself have access to certain ideas. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, that's that moment when I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Yeah, I think the I think what we're both ultimately saying, um, is that it can be social media, it can be, and for a lot of people is a net positive. But I think the intentionality that you put forth when it comes to using it and engaging in it is, like, extremely important in terms of how conscious you are
mhm,
about using it or not using it. And I think, we're at the age now where, like, we're becoming parents, and a lot of our friends are becoming parents. I just became a parent. And even thinking about shaping how the next generation interacts with social media, that's something that really keeps me up, is just
I didn't even think
because,
about that. If you want to go into it, we can. If you don't, we can switch. But have you thought about how your kid is like how you would approach your kid having social media at all yet? I
yeah,
know
I
it's
mean,
I know it's still new, but
yeah, no, I've thought about it at a high level. I know it's very tough. It's very tough because it's like, bro, even like kids now, like, they're using iPads and stuff like that in school at a young age. So, like, there's no unless you're homeschooling, I don't really think there's a way. And even then, like, you can't really, like, protect your your kids from engaging in social media. Like that's just not realistic in today's day and age. Like
Mm,
completely, I'm saying.
yeah.
I think so. The way I think about it is, I just want to, I want to set things up so that my son doesn't engage with any social media before it's a necessity,
Mm,
and I think
yeah.
that line can get very blurred. You see like 4 year olds, 3 year olds, like 2 year olds with phones, iPads playing all the time. I don't know what, and I'm not here to comment on whatever anyone else does, like to each its own. I'm very new at this, but when I think about, I'll say this, I'm definitely going to make a very concerted effort to make using social media, and honestly even just technological devices, I'm going to try and make that, like push that to when it's a necessity, as opposed to a, an early convenience where it's just like, here you go, instead of handing you
Mm,
the iPad, like maybe let's go out, let's go outside, let's play, let's do something, because I feel like by the time kids that are born now are like 6 7, bro, like they're already going to be probably be very aware of, they're going to have seen an iPad, they're probably going to have used an iPad, they're probably going to know, there's a good chance maybe they'll know what YouTube is. Like they have kids YouTube channels all the time, so they're already getting exposed to it at such a young and early age, and I feel like it's of the utmost importance to just try and manage that as best as you can, you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, even the fact I know you're speaking for yourself, or you can't speak for everybody, but even the fact that that's your sentiment, I think there's a good portion of people that would mirror that and
Hmm.
think and recognize, like, even if maybe if they're not conscious of it at the time, like when they have kids, recognize like, ooh, wait, I spent a little bit too much time this, or like, oh, damn, I saw this for the first time on this. Like, let me make sure that he's not, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, because for sure for us it was like it was brand new. Like it's our
yeah,
parents. Our parents didn't really know, like, to tell us outside of, like, don't be on that the whole day. It was, but there's not an direct understanding of what was actually behind the screens. Because they don't know like the full scope of it, and the full depth of the internet.
yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, even something as simple as like, and I don't know how, truthfully, I don't know how I'm going to manage this, but even something as simple as just like phone pickups, like once my son gets old enough to realize that there's a device that I'm constantly using and that I'm picking up, and he gets curious, like I don't even something like that is something I'm trying to think of how I'm going to manage it, because I don't want him to grow up seeing me constantly on my phone. Like
Mm,
that's very important to me. You know what I mean? That's why I purposely didn't want, me personally, I didn't want to get in certain businesses that I felt like would require me to be on call 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, and
mm,
I just feel like, yeah, I think it's we're so early in the age of all this happening that it's a learning experience for everyone. Everyone's just trying their best, but I do think that at least being conscious of the impact that it can have is the first thing that I feel like everyone should at least consider. Whatever decisions you make afterwards, cool, but at least have the thought, at least be conscious enough to realize whatever decisions I make right now with the technology I have around me, with the social media that I have around me, with the access that I allow my kids to have or not to have, like that's going to have long-term implications. Do we know what all of those are going to be? No. Does anyone have a crystal ball? No. But at the end of the day, just being conscious of that, so you're making these decisions be intentional as opposed to just going with the flow, and then before you know it, you have a 7 year old who literally can't go anywhere, can't do anything without an iPad and a game. Like, nah,
yeah,
we're not doing that.
yeah. I think I'm curious as to how that's gonna play out, because, and again, I can only speak for myself, but I think recognizing it internally, would definitely like I don't have kids, but
Hmm.
like recognizing it internally, I feel like if I had a son or a daughter, whatever the case is, I would definitely be reminded like very, very intensely of all the initial experiences and all the time spent and all like the pull and like the addictive qualities of those things. So I say that to say that like I feel like we all deep down know, you know, like we all deep down know like yo, there's something a bit off about the amount of time, but like you're saying that if there's a net positive, it's like, you can manage it as long as you're like intentional. But I think the biggest thing is, yeah, for me at least, like just try to be conscious about it. Like it's like anything that could be considered a bad habit, like,
Yeah, yeah.
in moderation, like as long as you're conscious of what is that you're doing, and like when it's becoming an issue, you should be able to manage it. Like, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I also think there's a key component there, um, in regards to like educating around, which I'm sure there's people that or organizations that do this. I haven't come across it, but like having a system or a platform that really educates people and children around some of the dangers of social media. Like, bro, when I think of,
hmm I wouldn't be surprised if that's an industry going forward at all.
yeah, no, agreed. But I could, bro, like when I think when I think about the possibility, when I think about the possibility specifically that like social media can have on especially young women, young girls, like self-esteem and
Mm,
what we all believe to be like reality, like that is something that really, really doesn't sit well with me, is just like thinking about, okay, bro, can you imagine? This is a crazy thought, and I had this thought because I just had a kid recently, so I'm thinking about what'd be the difference between that if I had a son, if I had a daughter, that sort of thing. And I'm like, bro, can you imagine being in a position where like you have a teenage daughter, for example, or even younger than that, who
mm,
may have some self-esteem issues, may not feel the best about how she looks, and she's seeing the stuff that we're all seeing on social media on a daily basis. Like, how do
yeah.
you even like process? Like, how do you even process like that? That's some
Yeah.
scary stuff, bro. Like,
Nah, it,
honestly.
it is it is so scary, especially at that age, bro. Like even if like I'm now that I'm a bit older, like I don't even know if there exists a secure or fully confident teenager, no matter how like whatever the case is, popular, like attractive, well adjusted, athletic you are, when at that age, there's things that you're trying to figure out, There's so much space for there to be insecurity, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
yeah, that, well, even again, I'm showing how online I am because I'm more than you, but like even like this, I guess we don't have to say the date, but even yesterday, like a day before, like Sydney Sweeney went viral, is going viral because a bunch of people are talking about there's a photo got leaked of her just at her house, like at her crib, like outside. But when I seen the photo, just regular. I seen the photo. I'm
Mm.
like, oh yeah, she looks straight. But there's bare comments talking about how she's like she's over, she needs a little weight, or like, you know what I mean, a bunch of stuff. And bro, I'll send you the picture, and because we're normal dudes, bro. Like I'll send you the picture, and you'll be like, bro, she looks she looks proper, bro. What are you talking about? But yo,
Mm.
there's a bunch of people online that are their ideal of because they're comparing to what she looks like in real life to like the airbrush images, you know what I mean? Like the magazine covers. Like if you're around like women in real life, you can understand like, bro, they're not gonna be looking like they're stepping on the wrong way 24/7. You still are attracted to that side of it. But if imagine being a young girl tuning in or like seeing that discourse online
Mm.
and looking at her looking perfectly fine, but seeing a bunch of people saying, yo, she looks terrible, or you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like what if somebody caught a picture like me, like when I'm throwing on a towel when I get out of the pool, or like, you know, the natural, you know, stomach fat that you have if you're like sitting down. Like everybody has that issue, no matter how, unless you're like 10% body fat, like that type of stuff. Yeah, I can't even imagine, bro. I can't even imagine having that sort of conversation with a daughter, like a younger girl, and like telling them, because you can't even tell them. What can you tell them to like not pay attention to it? They're going to.
I don't. Yeah, and I guess this will be the last thing I say about it. But I don't think. I think it's just about just educating. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say educating, I mean like really letting young men and women know that this is not
It's not real life.
it's not real life.
Yeah.
And like finding ways to actually get that message through. You know what I mean? Like I think because like you said, it's not like there's no way you're not going to interact with it or engage with it. So I don't think that's realistic. I think what is realistic is just having open and honest conversations about, look, this is what you're going to see online. This is going to be what you feel sometimes about what you see online. That's
Hmm.
okay. That's normal. But at the end of the day, understand that what is represented to you online is not a representation of what's really out there. Like, bro, even on, I don't know, even something that I've come across often on regularly enough is online is like this idea of like a gold digging community amongst women, which I never saw that come up at all. Do you ever come across any
Bro,
content?
yeah, we can't the red pill, like that's what they call it. They're just, I don't know, bro, because that exactly that mentality, because you're saying that you've never been in an environment where you really experienced that, right?
Yeah, and I'm saying
Yeah,
online, the proportionate amount that I
bro,
see of
crazy.
them pushing this narrative that like
Yeah.
people can be this certain way, women can be this certain way, men can be this certain way compared to what I actually see in my social circle or
Mm.
just see like in my experience, it's not even close to
It's
reality.
not. It's not. But I think this is a big thing. The community, like the people that are receptive to those communities, unfortunately, I think a big part of it is like they may not have an abundance of real life experience. So and then once you get those ideas in your head, because as humans, we look to confirm our perception, we look to confirm our biases. So if you are entering the world with those perceptions, you're gonna see it everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
see it everywhere. You're gonna see you may take a girl on a date, you got to pay for it, and then you're like, if that's your idea, instead of approaching it like just a regular person, like, yo, I asked you to come out here, like, let me take care of, you know what I mean? That's how
Mm-hmm.
most people approach it. It's just like, it's not, she had to do stuff to come out too. It's not like, she had to spend bread on makeup. Like maybe she had to spend money on her stuff to get to the location. You know what I mean? Like there's still effort on that part, but you can look at it like, yo, I'm spending money on this and this. All you do was show up. You know what I mean? Like, and that could really confirm your bias, confirm the perception. But yeah, exactly like you're saying, there's a community online of people talking about that. That's not that's not how it exists in the real world.
For most people.
For the most people, like
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. No, I agree. I agree. I think that's probably a good place
Yeah,
to
I
wrap
think I was
up. I
about
think
I was about to say that too.
yeah, no, I think we had a good discussion. We touched on a lot of things, but yeah, this is what our second, I guess, pilot episode that we recorded. So, we're
Yeah,
just gonna
we gotta do like
stick.
three, four pilots. Trying to figure out the direction. And but I like this. Yeah, I'd like this conversation. I think we stumbled across some pretty good insights between the both of us, just about how we handle social media, and how we plan to, at least, or what we think about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, thank you for anyone who made it this long in the video. Thank you for hanging out with us and listening to us. If you have any comments, suggestion, feedback, please let us know. We're more than open to it, and look forward to the next episode.
Yes, sir. Peace.